Alright, I'm back, and my internet has retaliated finally. It actually works. Welcome everyone to another match of the Winter Nuclear Throne Tournament 2019. Today we have a pretty exciting match, which is Master Sparky against ozRaved1. Sparky, the potato legend, he's gonna face off against ozRaved1. We shall see if ozRaved1 can put up a fight or not. My assumptions is that Master Sparky is gonna easily destroy, but you know, you never know. Yes, you know, but you never know. And also, that overlay is actually pretty amazing. Looks like I'm gonna have a bad time commentating this match. Alright, oh, Jesus Christ. ozRaved1's stream is like potato mode. Anyway. So the first conditions are here. We have free crown with one type and heavy crossbow. Alright. We're gonna have bolts only, so that's nice, and a free crown. So for the most part, this is just a normal speedrun with bolts only. And heavy crossbow is a nice weapon in the beginning as well. Damn, ozRaved1's stream is really going. His bitrate is only 500, so whenever something big and new happens on the screen, it just refreshes completely. Alright, so now we're starting. Master Sparky goes with YV, meanwhile ozRaved1 goes with steroids. Interesting. Sparky with the early restart somehow didn't get to Oasis. It's interesting that Sparky goes YV here, meanwhile ozRaved1 goes with steroids. Usually steroids is way better on double bolts, especially against YV. YV can definitely pull ahead here if Sparky gets trigger fingers, but ozRaved1's dual wielding is just gonna make a huge difference once he finds a second bolt weapon. Oh, he picked the cursed disc gun. Oof. Right, well, at least he didn't do it this time. Anyway, both of the players are now at the same area. Sparky is slightly behind now, because he did have to restart in the beginning. That's a cursed splinter gun. I mean, splinter pistol. Alright, so finally ozRaved1 gets his second bolt weapon. So now he's gonna be zooming through the levels, assuming that he can aim. Hello? Meanwhile, Sparky decides to take the cursed splinter pistol, which is pretty good. Alright, and just like that, now both of the players are pretty much at the same pace. ozRaved1 was taking quite a long time to clear that level, so Sparky managed to catch up a bit. And especially with that splinter pistol advantage from Master Sparky, which is arguably a bit better than just having a bolt weapon, than just having a crossbow and a heavy crossbow. But as long as ozRavd1 utilizes his weapons correctly, he can definitely pull ahead here, because, well, he used steroids. Oh! Sparky takes a secret pistol instead of the splinter pistol. Why? I can't shake but have the feeling that Sparky did that as a mistake, because there is no way Sparky would ever take a secret pistol over a splinter pistol, especially in a situation like this, where the splinter pistol is just so much better than the secret pistol. I mean, the secret pistol is almost always better, or, I mean, worse. The only time when secret pistol is better is when you have Hexabrap, or at least just business, but this is a throne run, so... Oh, never mind, now he has a secret shotgun instead of the secret pistol, so... That's actually a pretty good weapon to have, especially as YV. Secret pistol as YV was not really cutting it, but the secret shotgun is now a pretty good weapon to have. ozRaved finally gets both marrow. Sparky, because of different mutations, has a different set though. Mainly because of patience. So this time around he gets Gamma Guts. Sparky does have the Impact Wrist, however, which might help him a bit compared to ozRaved, and especially with the Gamma Guts. ozRaved does have the Bolt Marrow though, but it seems like Sparky is finishing the level sooner. The Gamma Guts really helped him there, especially with the Impact Wrists. So Sparky now takes a slight lead. Nothing too substantial right now though, because ozRaved's dual wielding is probably gonna give him a huge advantage here, especially in the palace levels, where the only weapon that Sparky really has is just a heavy crossbow. Hey, War Master. What is that side art? This is Sans Wondrous. Seems like someone's gonna have a bad time. But yeah, both of them on the same level right now. Sparky's advantage is now shrinking. It's pretty much not there anymore. ozRaved finally takes the lead here by clearing a bit faster. Yeah, as I said, the advantage of just being steroids is really putting in work here. Just because ozRaved was steroids compared to YV, the wielding gave him such a big advantage on these palace levels. And just like that, ozRaved takes the lead here. And he's probably gonna be taking this round as well. So, again, I feel like it's interesting that Master Sparky went with YV on the very first round with such good conditions, really. With such conditions, there is no real need to go with the least powerful character. Of the powerful ones, that is. So yeah, just like that, ozRaved takes the win. Job Sparky, good job Sparky. Good mode Sparky. Well, anyway, Sparky was doomed to lose that round, so yes, I did see it. So, despite all the odds, ozRaved takes the first point. Yeah, again, Master Sparky just went the wrong character here. When it's the first round, most of the people are going to be taking steroids against you, especially when the conditions are so favorable in terms of steroids. Just the only bolts weapons, which is basically where steroids shines the most, because steroids double bolts is one of the best setups you can have on a speedrun. And just like that, it got proven there right away. Alright, so we have kind of haste now, with Limit Fire and a Rusty Revolver start. That's pretty anti-cool. Saving steroids? Yeah, that's the thing. There isn't really any point to saving steroids. Especially when your opponent uses steroids early on. I feel like it's better to just use steroids right away to try to battle the other steroids and take the lead. Wait, Rusty Revolver can't go to it. Yes, okay, Sparky. Good job using the screwdriver. I'm fairly sure that the Rusty Revolver cannot enter Oasis. Just doesn't have enough DPS. Anyway, we can see that ozRaved actually goes Ice, meanwhile Sparky is doing a pretty ballsy move of going plant here. The reason why Ice makes a lot of sense here is because it's Limit Fire, and Ice is a bit easier on Limit Fire since you can just telekinesis enemies closer to your cursor, your general position, so it's a bit easier to hit enemies. Meanwhile, Plant doesn't really make too much sense here. Besides the fact that, yeah, it's still a throne round, yeah, Plant is a fast character. Plant is not a character that really works that well against Limit Fire, so... Right, Sparky takes the infamous Euphoria. Alright, alright. I can definitely understand why Sparky went with Slugger here, because this is a Limit Fire round, so the Slugger is better here. And then again, he already cleared the level where where the crossbow would have been good, which was Big Dog pretty much. So he's now going into Frozen City, where Slugger is honestly better because it has a way bigger projectile. So it's actually easier to hit enemies with it compared to the crossbow, considering that it's limit fire. So as you can see, he's having no troubles hitting the enemies at all. Meanwhile, the crossbow has a very small projectile hitbox, so it's a bit harder to hit enemies with it. So I can see why Sparky went Slugger here. I probably would have just taken crossbow because of muscle memory anyway. Yeah, limit fire makes it so you can only shoot in 4 directions, for those that you don't know. Ooh, Sparky lost his spirit. Now dancing around the enemies. Oh, Sparker! Monster Sparker! No. Sparky dies, so ozRaved now has a huge advantage here. And meanwhile, ozRaved... okay, never mind. He still doesn't have his spirit. But he's pretty close to recovering it. Sparky was playing very risky. Oh, he takes Euphoria first pick here now instead of Strong Spirit. Okay, interesting. That's an interesting pick to say the least. Some pretty wonky plays from Sparky that we can see now. Be it saltiness or maybe something else, not too sure. Gamma Guts from ozRaved putting in the Borg though. Especially his eyes on limit fire. Gamma Guts is actually really good. Because most of the time you can't actually hit the enemy, so just running into them with Gamma Guts is a pretty easy solution to things. He just needs to kill 1 tank. There we go. ozRaved, unlike Master Sparky, actually finally gets into the vault. So ozRaved now both has the speed and distance advantage. The snare limit fire too, yes. Snares and all kinds of character actives are still limit fire too. So you can only put the snare in 4 directions, as well as you can only shoot the horror beam in 4 directions. Alright, so ozRaved now fighting the Little Hunter. Meanwhile, Sparky making his way through the Frozen City once again. I don't think Rogue is limit fired, because if Rogue was affected by limit fire, then that would be pretty broken. Right, ozRaved, not the cleanest and not the fastest Little Hunter fight, but he is slowly going through it. Ooh, that was a pretty risky dodge here, just in that corner. But there we go. ozRaved finally, after 5 million years, he actually takes out Little Hunter. Meanwhile, Sparky at 2 HP on the 5-2 level right now almost repeats his fate and actually almost dies again. Still can't quite enter the vault. Okay, opens the canister, which lets him enter the vault now. But ozRaved finds a heavy grenade launcher and finally moves onto the labs. Sparky is now a whopping 2 levels behind. Yeah, so Sparky not doing so hot this time around. Surprisingly enough, ozRaved takes the lead pretty well. Ooh, that Super Splinter pistol is actually Super Splinter pistol. Whoa, that's an unexpected one. Super Splinter gun is actually gonna be pretty good, as well as that minigun. Man, that's a very good big chest. It's not a very good big chest if it was just a normal speedrun, but for limit fire, those weapons are great. So ozRavit decides to take the minigun with a heavy nade, which is a pretty good decision. I personally would have gone with heavy nade and super splinter, but to each their own. Sparky, with a pretty wonky hunter fight as well, goes down to 1 HP. Oh, misses a bolt. Sparky's hunter fight is going very on the edge, and Sparky goes super aggressive there. Oh, can't kill that dog because of diagonal positioning. Oh, and he misses the bolt. There we go. He finally takes out Little Hunter and was almost about to die against the flames. Jesus, Sparky. That was really close. Alright, but in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter or not? Because ozRavit is just so far ahead now. The only chance for Sparker to come back here is if ozRavit dies. Oh, and there's an Assault Slugger for ozRavit. Yeah, he decides to take it instead of the minigun here. Very, very good. Seems like Sparky actually did not end up getting the heavy nade. Or maybe he dropped it, but I'd be surprised if he did. Alright, so Sparky now moves on to 7-1. Meanwhile, ozRavit already got to the throne fight with Spirit, full ammo and things. Well, the heavy nade full ammo is all he needs really. That smart gun doesn't matter that much. And his Spirit up. He should be pretty safe here, especially if he dies. So it seems like ozRavit is going to be taking this second round as well. Wow. Sparky makes his most valiant effort, but it doesn't matter in the end. So ozRavit's throne fight is as simple as going right and left and just shooting at the throne, as if the throne has 0 IQ. To be fair, it does. And just like that, ozRavit takes the second round against Master Sparky. Sparky not quite managing it. ozRavit says clap. Clap indeed. ozRavit so far going pretty well against Sparky. Sparky losing his rounds just because he's dying in a pretty dumb way. We can see that Sparky, most of the rounds he's been taking the advantage early on, but then just dying. Except for the first round, of course, where he just lost because of the character disadvantage. Even though he could have technically taken that round if he played a bit better, but steroids against YV was mostly why he lost. Alright, so the third and last throne round is gonna be Free Crown with Darkness and a Golden Bazooka. Now, what if one of these okay, Sparky actually does go for... Alright, so Sparky goes for the Crown of Death for the Golden Bazooka. ozRavit, on the other hand, decides to not take any crowns at all. Which is interesting, since taking Crown of Curses here isn't really that bad, honestly. For the most part, it's just really beneficial. Especially for ozRavit, because he's playing Robot right now. So, Robot with Crown of Curses on top of it is gonna be really good. Oh! ozRavit. With the early self-bomb. Sparky, on the other hand, decides to go Ice just to make it so he can see in the darkness mode. Pretty good. Pretty solid decision overall. ozRavit technically has the slightly faster character, just because he has the potential weapon advantage. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't quite matter right now. ozRavit doesn't manage to get into aces in time. Takes way too long to kill the big bandit. Sparky so far just fighting the big dog. The big dork. Alright, Scary Face, Plutonium Hunger, pretty good. Getting pretty clean through the crystal caves, and that Golden Bazooka with a Crown of Death, one-shotting those crystals. Pretty goddamn good. But realistically speaking, Sparky is probably sooner or later actually gonna drop the Golden Bazooka, Oh, Sparky decides to go for extra feet instead of bowling lanes. Okay. Okay. Sparky could have definitely taken bowling veins here to be able to utilize the golden bazooka quite a bit more. Extra feet is also a good pick here, don't get me wrong. It is a speed up, and this is a speed run, but I feel like the bowling veins in the end could have given him a slightly better advantage, just being able to point blank shoot all the enemies, especially the tanks on this level. And just also be a bit more careful with the explosions. Alright, the vault is literally just outside the spawn. Sparky couldn't quite get the angle on that vault to actually open it up. No! Sparky gets killed by the grunts. Potato dodges. Trying to dance around the grunts, meanwhile they just shot him up. Shot him up like some fish. And Sparky now having trouble to get back into aces. ozRaved in the meantime is actually going through Frozen City. He's going through 5-1 right now. And ozRaved decided to drop his golden bazooka early on, which makes solid sense because ozRaved did end up not taking the crown of death. So his golden bazooka was not that good at all. So ozRaved is now on the sacred level of the vault as well. Oh, he almost opened it up. There we go. He charged the vault, is now into the vault. So ozRaved, once again, having a huge advantage here. ozRaved has all the chances. Just take this right here. This third point is gonna seal it for the most part. Sparky would have to win 4 matches after that. Sparky, stop imitating limit fire. See, you're joking about that, but I've been making this point for quite a bit now that after playing limit fire, it actually affects your general gameplay as well. So after playing with limit fire for a little bit, once you turn it off, you actually still play as if you had limit fire for the most part. It's a pretty annoying thing, but you just kind of have to get used to it. And Sparky goes for the extra feet pick once again. Let's see if we can manage it this time. ozRaved with a very, very wonky little hunter fight, but it does seem like he finally took him out. So ozRaved is now gonna be progressing into labs. Meanwhile, Sparky is getting to 5-2. Oh, and there's a grenade rifle for ozRaved as well. That's way better than the sticky launcher. Actual really good weapon for him right now. Sparky! That was not enough rats. Sparky destroys the tank, hoping that it would charge the vault, and as the rats were going into the vault, he decided to just destroy the vault, because he thought the rats from the tank would be enough, when they quite obviously so weren't enough. So ozRaved right now actually taking the lead quite substantially, especially now with that mistake from Master Sparky. ozRaved is just going, man. Alright, so Sparky did kill Little Hunter, now finishing up 5-3. But is it gonna be enough? ozRaved on the other hand is already clearing Palace, so Master Sparky is just so far behind right now. The grenade rifle with Crown of Death is really strong, but it's just not quite enough right now, considering the kind of advantage that ozRaved has. Well, ozRaved clearing that power super slowly right now. The disadvantage of not being able to see all of the enemies because of darkness mode is putting him in a pretty tight spot. So Sparky is... Oh! Sparky accidentally hits himself on the wall with one of the grenade rifle shots, which finishes him up. I don't think that was a turret spawn. I'm pretty sure he was just bob and weaving around the wall trying to snipe the enemies with a grenade rifle, but then because of his movement he actually accidentally shot himself while he was moving around the wall. So, damn. ozRaved now with 3 points. Sparky now has to come back with 4 wins. Either ozRaved is gonna take it right here with just 1 more win. Maybe we were deceived, and the first match that Sparky had was just an illusion. Maybe the potatoes are finally back. Who knows? Alright, so we can see going into the first captain round, we have Crown of Blood with no more than a blood launcher. Pretty decent conditions overall. Crown of Blood is gonna make it just a bit slower and a bit harder, of course. So yeah. Sparky decides to go with Crystal here. Meanwhile, ozRaved has saved up his wifey all the way into these captain rounds. So ozRaved is definitely gonna have a huge speed advantage here by being wifey. Meanwhile, Sparky is gonna be a bit safer with the crystal, that's for sure, but is it gonna be safety or is it gonna be speed that matters here? We shall find out. Sparky, just kill the scorpion. Sparky could have just easily killed that scorpion and went by. Alright, so Sparky clears the first level faster than ozRaved, gets into aces and also gets Rhino skin. So he now has quite a bit of HP. ozRaved is having trouble. ozRaved is having trouble actually entering oasis here with this wonky desert spawn. There we go, ozRaved finally gets it. ozRaved also ends up taking the Rhino skin, which is quite pretty much the obvious pick there. There wasn't really any good mutations there. Imagine having Rusty Revolver with Curse mode. You'll just be playing with 1 less weapon. Sparky ends up taking extra feet, is now swiftly going through his cursed caves. Let's forget the fact that they are not cursed. Alright, last wish, so Sparky might be going into Crown of Blood jungle here. So if he does that, that's gonna be pretty interesting. He does have the blood launcher, which is actually pretty amazing in jungle. And there's a big chest, so he might find some pretty good weapons. Opens the chest, but decides to not take anything from it. Just dashes straight into the jungle. Gets Scary Face and Impact Wrist right away, which are both very good right now for him in jungle. Oh, gets sniped by the assassin into his back. One slip and he's gonna die. Oh, that shield is saving him there. If not for Crystal, he would have died a long time ago. Alright, Sparky regains his HP and now continuing the clear up. ozRaved also takes the jungle. Master Sparky now almost finished his jungle cleanup. Actually, I feel like Master Sparky accidentally, well, more or less accidentally opening that big chest was actually a huge mistake for him. Because that way he messed up and he could have gotten the big chest in jungle and potentially gotten some really good weapons instead. He does get a bouncer shotgun, so that's pretty good. Now finding Little Hunter. Meanwhile, ozRaved dies in the jungle. Rest in peace, ozRaved. Alright, so Sparky now has a huge lead. ozRaved having issues entering Oasis once again. Alright, and just like that, Sparky now gets into labs with a surprisingly more or less clean run. So, might this be the comeback of the Master Sparker? Or will this be just another fluke? We'll find out soon enough. He still has to kill Captain, so either that or he has to wait for ozRaved to die after the timer runs out, which is it's pretty likely to happen, but also not really. Imagine Sparky winning 4 rounds in a row. I believe, man. I believe. Right, Sparky takes Gamma Guts. Not quite useful here, but okay. That heavy crossbow here for Master Sparky honestly could have been a pretty good pick here. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like the heavy crossbow with scary face here could be pretty good for him, but also keeping his current weapons is a pretty good decision too. So Sparky now has a huge lead. ozRaved is last run. So the only way for ozRaved right now to win is to hope that Master Sparky dies. Meanwhile, Sparky could win if ozRaved dies right now. Oh, Sparky goes down to 5 HP by catching a ball. The infamous ball me. Sparky didn't kill the last Guardian. And there we go. Sparky moves on to the throne fight now. Heavy Slugger for Sparky. That's very good. ozRaved is now also clearing out the jungle. This time around it was pretty much more or less a free jungle. Just having to do some careful cleanup. With the blood launcher, it's pretty easy. Especially with that rabbit far for ozRaved. Sparky standing a bit too close to those generators. Do not forget that this is NTT. So those generators could get Master Sparky if he's unaware. But there we go. That heavy slugger is just putting in real work there. Doing a buttload of damage. There we go. Sparky finally gets into a spot to utilize his heavy slugger. And so just like that he goes on to Throne 2. Alright, so the Throne 2 fight starts for Sparky. Being Crystal though, with his Crystal Shield and 14 HP, it's gonna be unlikely that he dies now. Sparky rat starred? I don't think he rat starred. Maybe he tried to get the other weapon at the end for him. Yeah, he did. He ended up taking the bouncer's shotgun instead of the blood launcher. And now he swapped back for it. Interesting. I don't know. He didn't rat starve, he was just sticking to the wall so he could take the weapon at the end. Yeah, but coming back with 4 wins out of 2 losses is not really that much of a comeback. Like, it would be a true comeback if it was 3 out of 4. Sparky doesn't enter the headquarters. I think he may have accidentally swapped the weapon there instead of entering into headquarters. Damn. Well, Sparky now has to wait until the 2nd level to actually enter now. I'm surprised at how much time Master Sparky is taking, considering that he has such a good setup for him right now to just clear up these levels, honestly. Yeah, it's blood, but he has impact wrist with scary face, plutonium hunger, and rabbit paw. He's absolutely safe to clear up these levels and not take his time, especially with being crystal, considering that he has the shield and he has so much HP. He was taking his time a bit too much, but he now does get into headquarters, starts to clean it up. Overusing his blood launcher a bit. Could have just shot at that E-grunt to finish him up, but decides to use the blood launcher. Goes down to 4 HP. Takes the hyper launcher now. Alright, I like this. Meanwhile, ozRaved is now to start the... just about to start the throne fight. Seems like Sparky is gonna be sticking with his hyper launcher, which is honestly pretty good here. Just needs to make sure to not accidentally explode himself. That said though, hyper launcher is usually one of the safer weapons about exploding yourself, so I don't think we're gonna be seeing that happen. Alright, so Sparky finds an eraser and decides to take that instead of the hyper launcher, which is quite a significant bit safer. Goes down to 3 HP, but gets a health pack right away as well. Ooh, gets really close to that E-Inspector. Does take him out with the eraser, but that was way too close. Very crowded headquarters because of that ton of blood. Pretty hard to clean up. Gets really close to those E-Inspectors once again. There's just so many of them in this headquarters. There's 3 E-Inspectors alone in that room. And that was... oh my god, he gets killed. Not killed, he gets attacked by one of those E-Inspectors. Goes down to 5 HP for the captain fight. Nails her down with the double minigun, but does waste a lot of shots from it though. It should be a pretty safe fight considering that he is crystal, but there is always a chance that he's accidentally gonna shield at the wrong time, and that's gonna cost him his life. Ooh, goes down to 4 HP. Gets a health pack once again. Goes down to 3 HP once again. He's making sure to shield at the right time. Very Monka-esque fight right now. Okay, gets a health pack once again, goes to 5 HP. And now runs out of ammo, so he needs to farm some ammo from the boss to hope that he can actually finish Captain or just kill her with her bows as well. That will work. A bit harder, but it's definitely gonna work if he can manage it. Very ballful fight right now, so many balls flying around. Ooh, oh my god, that dash! The eraser shot was so clutch there. If he wouldn't have shot that eraser shot, then Captain would have gone straight into his face and he would have died. There we go. Finally finishes her. That was a very hard fight. Meanwhile, ozRaved also on the Captain fight. 2 HP, loses his spirit, and then also dies. Wow, what a fight. ozRaved says that he was close, but unfortunately he wasn't close enough, as Sparky does take this round. And even if ozRaved would have survived, Sparky would have still gotten that point because he did finish Captain faster. So yeah, Sparky with some major potatoes, but he finally comes back. Alright, and so the second captain round is gonna be Crown of Curses with a minigun and a random character. So we're gonna be seeing the chicken rogue here, or maybe the chicken, or maybe the rogue. Alright, we see the rogue and we see the rogue. Alright. Sparky was one of the several people that were talking about how rogue is probably the better pick on random character as opposed to chicken. So it makes sense that we see rogue from him. So yeah, minigun is a very good weapon on start. Crown of Curses is just nice to have overall. So this is just a random character run. Different seeds. They're having different seeds. The seeds are wrong. The seeds are wrong. Yes, they realized it. I saw it right away. When their spawn was different, I was like, yeah, the seeds are wrong. The seeds. Sparky, you potatler. You absolute potatler. Look at Sparky utilize those airstrikes. We do have Crystal in the Oasis, but shouldn't matter too much with the minigun. It should be a pretty easy Oasis. Goes down to 1 HP, almost dies to the ball. Has to run up to that fish, and it's not even the last fish. So ozRaved is now going into the Crystal Caves, taking a pretty significant lead over Sparky right now. Alright, so both of them do take Recycle Grind in their first mutation picks, because they do have a minigun, so that's a very good combination that they have. Look at that screwdriver utilization from Master Sparky. ozRaved did end up taking Eagle Eyes though, which is pretty interesting. Master Sparky decides to go for Impact Wrist instead. Oh, and ozRaved takes Throne Butt. Okay, well, Throne Butt kind of makes sense because he's gonna be swapping characters every level, so every now and then he might get a character that actually benefits from the Throne Butt. But so far, he's only... Oh! Sparky! Alright, so Sparky dies in the Crystal Caves. I think he may have exploded himself or something. So ozRaved now has an insane lead over Sparky. Sparky's only hope is for ozRaved to actually flop up on his way. Oh, and look at that! ozRaved being melting on 5-2 actually helped him open that vault, because there was not enough enemies around the vault to actually charge it. But since he was melting, those enemies dropped enough rads because of the passive of melting. That was a hostile horror. Alright. Hostile horror for ozRaved in the vault. As Crystal. I mean, as Skeleton. Can you link the brackets? Sure. Let me actually check. So whoever loses here is gonna be fighting against Levoch in the losers bracket. Will that be Master Sparky? Or will Master Sparky come back and ozRaved will lose? Nothing is decided yet. There is still a slight chance that ozRaved might flop up, but it's not looking likely. Sparky is just so far behind ozRaved right now, and ozRaved has a very strong setup in the form of a minigun and an auto crossbow. And now he goes into labs, so he's just so far ahead of Sparky. Pretty nice airstrike utilization from ozRaved. And so there we go. ozRaved gets into the palace. He is Rebel right now. Could get some of that Dromba utilization, huh? Ooh, gets dogged, goes down to 6 HP. 6 is a pretty vital spot here. I think, oh, never mind, there we go. He goes down to 1 HP. Actually catches a ball. Balls do 5 HP, so... Alright, there we go. Nice for this palace level, pretty useful here. Makes it ever so slightly easier to dodge those balls. Oh, gets... Oh, ozRaved! You shouldn't have been using that telekinesis. And so ozRaved dies against the dog on 7-2. Sparky though, on 2 HP on the little hunter fight. This is Sparky's last chance to come back here. This last run, these 4 minutes and 42 seconds, are Sparky's last hope. He either gets it here, or he loses it. Sparky, this is your last chance. Gets Strong Spirit now, so he's actually safer than what ozRaved had. He doesn't have the throne, but realistically it's not gonna matter here at all. He does have also the same weapons that ozRaved had. ozRaved pretty wonky laps for Master Sparky right now. Sparky loses his spirit though against the cops. And can't hit that fish freak. Incredible aim there by Sparky. Just spamming his auto crossbow instead of actually trying to aim it. It's a pretty major mistake. So he loses quite a bit of time here in the labs. He only has roughly 3 minutes to catch up to ozRaved 7-2 and actually beat it. So he needs to get to the throne fight in these 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Sparky, just go. You have no time to meddle with these things. So Sparky finally gets into the palace on 5 HP. Sparky really needs to hurry now. He doesn't have any spare time at all. The clock, the time is ticking. Sparky. Sparky is taking this level very slow right now, which is not something that he needs to do. Something that he wants to do. Alright, he gets to the second level. Decides to take extra feet. He is on 6 HP, so he can take a full shot into his face. Oh, those shielder dodges though. He doesn't do the same mistake that ozRaved did, which is dying to the dog. The doggers. He deals with the dogs pretty swiftly. So we might see Sparky taking this round. And at this point, there's pretty much nothing for Sparky to die. So just like that, Sparky takes this round just because ozRaved was not utilizing eyes correctly and used the telekinesis in a very tight spot against the dogs, which ended up cornering him and killing him. So Sparky is now 2-3. Sparky, slowly but surely, coming back from the 3-0 situation that he had earlier. So now we're gonna be going into the all bosses category. Alright, Free Crown, Curse, and Golden Slugger. So they can take any crowns they want, and they have a Cursed Golden Slugger. They will not be able to switch it out. That is pretty sad. Both of the players decide to go with Horror here for the first all bosses round, which makes a lot of sense. Horror is the objectively better pick for all bosses. The insane advantage that Anomaly gives you is just colossal. Alright, so ozRaved gets an additional slugger just because he decided not to go with Crown of Curses. Meanwhile, Sparky did take Crown of Curses, since this is a free crown start. They can take any crowns they want. Cursed Laser Rifle for Master Sparky, so he's now going double cursed here. Both of the players taking Gamma Guts in these first mutations. Meanwhile, for ozRaved, instead of being cursed, there is a laser pistol. Slightly worse than the laser rifle, but we do have to take into account that Master Sparky is now running double cursed. So ammo management might or might not be a bit harder. Frankly, cursed ammo usually makes it easier to manage ammo, but it's definitely not going to be the case in cursed caves. That said though, again, cursed caves are not really that hard when it's Crown of Bloodless. The cursed caves are only difficult when you have Crown of Blood. But without Crown of Blood, it pretty much just clears up like a slightly fatter crystal caves. Oh, Sparky really goes in there. Decides to push it real hard. Goes down to 1 HP but doesn't lose his spirit just yet. Decides to utilize his beam a little bit here. Rat sponges. He needs to make sure to actually get those rats back though, because those rats are insanely valuable for him. This is an all bosses run, so any and all kinds of rat advantages that these players can get is gonna be really important. Because once you have the rat advantage, that means that you're gonna be taking Anomaly sooner than the other opponent. And if you get Anomaly faster than the other person, that might just seal the deal and give you the win. Because Anomaly is such an important thing to take here. The advantage of taking Anomaly earlier just saves up an insane amount of time. Alright, Sparky opens up the vault. Gonna be pretty easy charge. Doesn't matter what's in that big chest for him because both of his weapons are cursed right now. He is gonna be able to decurse his super crossbow here though, because this is free crown, so he can just step on the pedestal to refresh his crown of curses, which is exactly what he does. He does it just so he can uncurse his super crossbow, so he will be able to swap it out for something more useful if that does drop. It is pretty important to note that super crossbow is one of the better weapons you can get in general, so it's unlikely he'll get something better than that. Ends up taking the minigun just because he was out of super crossbow ammo. Gets hit by most of the little hunter shots. If not for the beam, it might have just been his death right now. Oh my god, this is a very wonky little hunter fight for Sparky right now. Sparky just hanging by a thread. Oh, there we go. Okay, he finally takes out Little Hunter. He's gonna be coming back for his super crossbow here. And cleaning up the rest. So ozRaved now starts the fight as well. ozRaved, however, actually does not have the same super crossbow that Master Sparky got. Which is interesting because Master Sparky got his super crossbow inside cursed caves, so ozRaved must have gotten the same big chest. I don't think there was any loot variance for the cursed caves chest, so I'm not quite sure why the ozRaved doesn't have a super crossbow here. But the fact that he doesn't is actually costing him a lot of time here. There's a super no, there's a splinter pistol for Sparky, but he can't take it. Yeah, this is the major downfall of the curse mode. Well, not the downfall, that is the exact point of why this mod exists, is just that they can't take second good weapons. When your cursed weapon is something like a golden slugger. Ooh. Sparky, very bad start for him in the palace. Pretty wonky spawn. But yeah, curse mode makes it so you can take all the weapons you want. So most of the time you end up relying on a single weapon, and your second weapon just being there as a backup weapon that you're not going to be really utilizing for speed at all. Alright, he gets bolt arrow though, so that's going to be insanely good for his super crossbow right now. Hostile horror though, but Sparky instantly takes him out with a super crossbow right into his face. Hostile horror didn't even see the light. He was denied quite instantly so. Probably the biggest issue of having that golden slugger right now in this run for mostly both of these players really is just ammo management. Because having that slugger at full ammo pretty much most of the time makes it hard for you to get ammo for the other weapon. Both of these players going for completely different builds here. ozRaved didn't end up getting the super crossbow, so he's running a minigun here with recycled land. Meanwhile, Sparky has a bolt marrow super crossbow, which is arguably, but not even that much arguably, a way better setup for him compared to ozRaved's. Especially with that bolt marrow and impact wrists, his super crossbow is going to be doing a very quick job of loop. And as soon as he gets anomaly, that impact wrist with the bolt marrow is going to work even better. All that Sparky really wants right now is carrier phase and some ammo mutations, preferably. He does... Okay, Sparky decides to go for the scary phase here. There was a ton of really good mutations there. Honestly, a lot of picks would have been great there. But most of the two best picks there were scary face and trigger fingers. Trigger fingers would make it so he can utilize his super crossbow more often, but the scary face is more important here just because of that impact wrist. The impact wrists plus scary face plus anomaly is a very good combination. So going that route is, in my opinion, way better for Sparky, which is what he ends up doing. Sparky now starts the cleanup of desert. For such a weapon, in the form of a super crossbow, it's very unlikely that he's gonna have any trouble here, honestly. He might run into some ammo management problems, which I can definitely see happening. Alright, Sparky gets into the vault. His last mutations are really so he takes patience to hopefully find something better. Maybe something like plutonium hunger. Alright, so Sparky, he's either going to be taking no crown here, or he's going to be going for the absolute Chad play of Crown of Luck. Okay. Sparky takes Lucky Shot. Oh, I think Sparky accidentally took that Lucky Shot, because Sparky was gonna take no crown, which is what he did. It's in the first slot, so he pressed 1. But he forgot that he had mutation picks, so he ended up just taking a random mutation from Patience. And he also took no crown instead of Crown of Luck, which is understandable. Going with such a ballsy move as taking Crown of Luck here would be really risky. And there was potentially some way better mutations in that mutation pick, to be fair, but Lucky Shot is also really good for him here. Lucky Shot with Scary Face Impact Wrist is definitely gonna help him out with ammo management, that's for sure. So it's not even a bad pick, frankly. ozRaved, in the meantime, having some troubles clearing out the desert. Sparky! Oh no! Sparky actually loses his spirit and then dies by being cornered. Well, that's unfortunate. So all ozRaved needs to do now is clear out Mom. If ozRaved can progress onto the scrapyard, ozRaved is gonna be taking this. Really unfortunate. But it's not over yet. ozRaved still has 2 areas to clear. So ozRaved now has... Wait. Did Sparky get an extra round? I don't think he did. I think he died after the timer, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. I thought the timer ran out when Sparky died. Oh, it ran out after Sparky's death. So Sparky has a whopping 5 minutes to get to ozRaved now. So, I mean, Master Sparky's attempt here is a lost cause. There is no real point for him to try at this point, but ozRaved has 3 minutes now. ozRaved has to clear out the sewers, kill Mom, and if ozRaved progresses to the scrapyard, he takes this win. And Master Sparky will go into the losers bracket. ozRaved, pretty wonky right now on the Mom fight, but he did take her out, so it does seem like ozRaved is finally gonna be taking this match. Well, GG to ozRaved, and unfortunately, Master Sparky goes into the losers bracket against all the odds. Against all the assumptions of people that ozRaved would lose this match. Though a lot of people did hope for ozRaved to win. Master Sparky loses this. And ozRaved progresses in the winners bracket. And ozRaved is going to be facing off against either Revius or Lisonok, which is actually the very next match. So the next match after this one, which is... Let's see, what's the time right now? 5:10. The next match is going to be happening in 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes we shall find out who is going to be the person to fight against ozRaved. Is it going to be Revius or is it going to be Lisonok? We shall find out. Wonder you next. Nah mate, you shall not even graze me, ozRaved. Your most valiant effort, but I shall take you down with my uppercut.